right, folks, what is good? This is episode 618 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football, but we're absolutely going to change things up today. You see, I have my Atlanta Braves hat on. I'm representing the Braves, and I want to give you my thoughts on the Home Run Derby, because the Home Run Derby is a game changer for me. It has turned to a situation where I want to watch baseball again. I've stopped watching baseball even when the Braves won the World Series. I only watched that. But looking at some of these stars that were on this Home Run Derby was absolutely cool to see. It had me interested. I was very I was very impressed with what I saw on display, because even with the Home Run Derby, it's like a casual fan type of thing. I've been so detached away from the MLB. I just did not follow any players that was really in the game, even the ones that's playing for the Braves. So I don't know much about the teams anymore. I am happy that the Braves did win a couple of years ago, but watching the Home Run Derby made me think, like, wait a minute, this was actually pretty good, and I was extremely, impressed. So I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions about all that, and I'm just going to let you guys know what my thoughts were. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ended up winning, beating Randy Arozarena. I think that's how to say that, but we'll get into that. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Now, the thing about it is, I don't normally talk about baseball. I don't. I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't watch baseball at all. But watching the Home Run Derby make me want to get back into it, because I was extremely impressed with what I saw. I'll just get into it, because I don't want to go through the whole spiel. I'm on Twitter at VFBaller. FirstandFrameRates.com is, the website for the show. Like I said, I normally talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football, but we're going to talk about the Home Run Derby today because, listen, when I first started watching, and the thing about it wasn't necessarily the first round or whatever, because, I think the first round was like, okay, or whatever the case may be. But what really caught my eye at the beginning, the kid from the Orioles, I think his name is Adley Rutschman. I'm looking at this kid, I'm like, yo, this kid looks like a baseball player. He was like, dude, like he's like 6'6", 240 or something like that. And dude was just smacking home runs over and over again. Then he switched it after he took his break and went to I think he went to the bonus round, switched it over there and started hitting bombs on the opposite side of the bat of the plate. I was like, wow, that was like amazing. So don't get me wrong, these type of things shouldn't really excite me. But the thing about it is, I haven't watched baseball in so long, and it was really, I guess it was just refreshing to me to watch. So I watched that, and I was like, okay, this is nice. Even though he did end up losing by one home run, and it was cool. So I started watching the rest of it, just watching what's going on. And then, you saw the other players go in. And then when I saw, I think it was, I can't pronounce this kid's name, Arizona, I can't say it to save my life. I'll just call him Randy. And he ended up hitting, 24 home runs, and he plays for the Rays. And that looked pretty cool. That was really nice to see. But what stole the show for me, what started to steal the show for me when I saw Rodriguez, Julio Rodriguez for the Mariners, when I saw him hit 41, and it's like he was in a rhythm. And he was in a rhythm. It's like his stance, you can tell. He's like, he'll hold the ball a certain way, and he'll just knock it out the park. It was like a rhythm how he was doing it. And to me, I don't know what it is. I just found it absolutely amazing to watch these kids, these guys, actually hit home runs. Now, I will say I'm actually was disappointed. I didn't see Matt Olson. I thought he was going to be in the home run derby, but he wasn't. But then, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed it. Watching, I think the main thing about it is when you watch people do some things that you're not capable of doing, I think that's one thing that attracts me to sports. Because, I played sports in my younger days, but watching guys do that, what I can't do, that just for a guy to constantly hit home runs over and over and over again like that, and like it was nothing, even though these are like softball pitches basically, but still, it takes power and endurance to do that over and over and over again. And I'll tell you something, watching the home run derby basically made, back in the day, I'll say this, back in the day, I remember watching the home run derby, and it was not like this. It was not as fast paced. So that's what made me actually be more interested in it. And just watching Vlad Guerrero go up against Julio Rodriguez, and he ended up beating him, which I thought that was kind of crazy, because I even though like watching, Vlad beat him after watching Julio do that, I was like, wow, he hit 41, but he turned around and ended up beating him anyway. And then he ended up going up against Arizona and ended up beating him afterwards. It was a really good show. At the end of the day, it was a really good show. And now I say all that, and I tell you this, why is it a game changer for me? It makes me want to watch baseball again. It literally made me want to watch. Watching the home run derby makes me want to watch baseball again, because there's a lot of stars in baseball that we're not really, getting access to. So, and it's really disappointing, because I think baseball has been getting a bad rap for the past, I'll say the past decade, maybe last 15 years. It just hasn't been, it just hasn't been as attractive to watch. Now, I will say this, I played the video game more than I actually watched. I played MLB The Show more than I watched in real life. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything like that, because I don't watch too much of the NBA anymore. But to watch baseball and the way things are, and the Braves are doing pretty good this year as well. And just watching other teams actually have some pretty decent teams. I mean, I didn't think the Cincinnati Reds look actually pretty good. The Tampa Bay Rays look good. You also have the Dodgers always who they are, and Houston's always who they are as well. And I love watching the Mets collapse. It's just, a really cool thing, because I've just been watching baseball from a distance, and I did not realize all these other players that I can actually keep track of and watch. I wouldn't mind going back to look at, some games that Vlad Guerrero Jr. in. I mean, I knew he was in the league, but, I didn't pay attention. He's in Toronto. Julio Rodriguez is all the way up there in Seattle, but, the thing is like, why am I not looking at what these kids or what these guys are capable of? Even Robert Jr., I mean, dude hit a 484-foot home run. I mean, it's unreal. I'm missing out on a lot of good, athletes. I already know what Acuna is doing for the Braves. I mean, I live here in Atlanta, and I know what the Braves are doing. They're having a phenomenal season. But I think when I watched the home run derby, it made me think like, okay, there's other individual players in this league that actually are worth looking at. There's guys here that are actually, worth following, and I've become a fan again. Just this one home run derby just made me a huge fan again. I'm not afraid to admit that I haven't been following baseball like I should. I followed baseball when the Braves went to the World Series and they beat Houston, and that was cool. And then I went back to my own thing with football. And I would never stray away from football. I love the sport. But I think that baseball is becoming, and I'll say in my opinion, I know for me for sure, I think baseball is really becoming a great sport to watch again. These guys, I don't think any of these guys on PEDs, none of these guys are like juiced up or nothing, but you saw some real bona fide athletes that was out there that can, send the ball out the park like it is nothing. It actually make me want to, watch like all type of games from all other teams now, not just the Braves. Cause I mean, I hope the Braves win it all, but I do want to be more interested into the sport once again. And it's, like I said, it's going to be a part of my rotation. It really is. I walked away looking at the home run derby in a light that I feel like the league itself, the whole Major League Baseball, is in pretty decent hands. And it's something that a lot of people, don't really talk about. I mean, they talk about all the other stuff, like what these teams are doing with, Pride Month and all that other stuff. I mean, that's cool. Whatever floats your boat on that situation. I mean, I have no dog in that fight. But I will say the product on the field, especially with the Braves, is really, really good. And I want to be a part of that and watch it even throughout the regular season. I don't want to wait till the playoffs anymore. And it's a shame as well because I literally live maybe 30, 25 minutes away from Truist Park. My wife works my wife, her job is like right near Truist Park. And we haven't gone to a game yet since we moved back here, and I feel kind of embarrassed about that. I need to go support these Braves. They're looking pretty good. I need to support this league because this league is doing good. I'm not sure if you're going to see any coverage on this show about the baseball, but I will say this: I'm definitely going to be watching because I walked away really impressed with what they had put on display for the Home Run Derby. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is a little switch up from what I normally do, guys. I normally do the whole, Atlanta Falcons, Georgia Southern football thing. And I already know on Twitter, I'm not even going to discuss it. I've seen it on Twitter today that they put up the 28-3 game on Twitter. Whatever. It's not much. It is what it is. But yeah. Just let me know what you guys think. Am I tripping about baseball? I think baseball has turned into a really good sport to watch again. I've been watching from a distance because the Braves have been having this phenomenal season. And looking at all these stars for the Home Run Derby it confirmed it for me. I think I'm going to start watching more baseball. I'm definitely going to be watching more. I could be found on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts, also on YouTube and Rumble. My Twitter is VFBaller. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It's not the norm. So I'm going to get out of here. I thank you guys for the support. I can't thank you guys enough. We're getting closer to 1,500 subs. And from there, we can go to 2,000. Then we go to 5,000. We're going to be moving. But it's all thanks to you guys. I really appreciate it. VF Baller is the Twitter handle. And the website is firstandframerace.com. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy. And y'all be blessed. Peace.